Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Welcome to the Steelers Talk Live Show. I am your host, Jack Sperry. That is producer Jeffrey Cooperstein. We are here to give you guys some awesome Steelers content today, previewing Week 1 versus Atlanta. We got the AFC North preview, or AFC North previewed this week as well. It's going to be a lot of great stuff. Then also, the Steelers just released their Week 1 depth chart. We'll talk about that. But also, Mr. Cooperstein, we just got breaking news for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Captain Cam is staying for at least the next 3 seasons here. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN reports the Steelers and 6-time Pro Bowler defensive end Cam Hayward have agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal that includes $29 million in new money and $16 million fully guaranteed. Hayward's 35, who had $16 million left on the final year of his previous deal, is now under contract through 2026. Allowing a longtime captain to retire a Steeler. His signing bonus is nearly $15 million. Let's give it up for Mr. 97, Captain Cam, getting paid. And honestly, man, I couldn't see Cam Hayward play NFL football, Coop, in any other jersey than that number 97 in the black and gold, and I'm just so happy that they were able to get this done with the heart and soul of the Steelers locker room. Now it's up to the Steelers to get him that Super Bowl championship that we all know this man deserves, man. So congratulations to Captain Cam. It's well deserved. Hopefully he can come back and have an awesome season after dealing with some groin issues last year. But at the end of the day here, it's a little bit of a risk for the Steelers because if Cam comes out and he's not the same player after getting groin surgery, maybe this doesn't look like a good investment in 365 days. But at the end of the day, man, he's the heart and soul of your team. I think he's going to have a good year this year, and we're not going to even be talking about this being a bad move come next season. Your thoughts on the Cam Hayward extension, Coop?
They had to get this deal done. Cam Hayward, the heart and soul of the team. He is, I think, the team leader, especially in the locker room as well. He's the OG. He's the guy that people look up to set the tone. It's plain and simple. You had to get this deal done. He's on the wrong side of 30, so that gives me a little bit of pause that he's going to be declining a bit, but you can always maneuver the cap in future years. So I think this deal was necessary, and I'm glad they got it done.
Do you think they get a Pat Freiermuth deal done before Sunday? Because if it does, I think it'll be less than this. I think it will be less than $14 million per year.
Yeah.
Is he worth that? I guess we'll see.
I think they weighed out Pat Freiermuth, if I'm honest.
I honestly thought they were going to wait. I honestly thought they were going to wait out Cam.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to wait till next offseason to get this done because they knew he was going to be a good faith negotiator. They knew that he would want to come back next offseason. But nonetheless, they get it done now, and I'm happy about it, man. So here is our Week 1 live schedule here on Steelers Talk. Of course, you're watching us right now on Tuesday. We start at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time for all of our weekly live shows. Our next live show will be Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so same time as usual. So make sure you join us on Thursday as well. And then we have our first live watch party for the regular season here on Steelers Talk on Sunday. We go live an hour before kickoff, so 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Getting ready for that Week 1 matchup here. Hopefully, the Steelers can get a dub and start their season 1-0. But before we get into the rest of our content today, I want to have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game, a Steelers football game at Acrisure Stadium live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on TV. So Game Time Picks is a brand new feature from our friends at Game Time, and it filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And personally, guys, I'm somebody that likes to get tickets last minute, all right? So I'll go on the Game Time app. It's the only ticketing app that I have on my phone. And all you got to do is you go into the Game Time app, you find a game that you want to find good tickets for, you select the Game Time Picks button, and it's going to show you automatically the best prices that they have on their app, so you don't have to go searching around their entire app to find the best tickets at the best price. And what I love about using Game Time is that they get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, which means you can't find a ticket on any other ticketing app with a lower price. If you do, it's guaranteed, so they will reimburse you for that. Then we got all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout, and flash deals, so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the start of your event. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Here's our donation menu for today's show, guys. So if you want to send in a donation, it's certainly not required. All we care about here on Steelers Talk is that A, you love the Steelers, and B, you want to support the show. We completely understand that some times are tough for some people, so if you don't have money to spend on a YouTube show, it's 100% okay. But if you guys do want to send in something, man, we do appreciate all the donations. Any donation at all, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chat, you're going to get a shout out on the show. We're going to give you guys some love. $10 Super Chats and Venmos and donations today. We're going to be doing shots, all right? So we got some, I don't know what you're drinking today, Coop, but I got some fake tequila that I'll be drinking for $10 donations. $50, Coop can slap me with a tortilla, or I can slap him with a tortilla. Bringing back the Tortilla Slaps for the season here, so has to be a $50 donation. So you can't send in like a $5,000 Venmo and like it's 10 and it's like a bunch of slaps, right? You can't do that, but it has to be a $50 Super Chat or donation for a slap. Well, you can, absolutely. But a $100 Super Chat will bang for you. Pause, and then we go, here we go, Steelers with the terrible towels. $500, we got the Steelers Talk Gong. For those of you that haven't watched us for a little bit, we did get the sticker on here, so I'd love to hit that gong today here, folks. Plus, we give away a black diamond for every 500 that we get. So I appreciate all of your guys' support. Coop, if you want to put up where they can donate
I will
after this. Okay, so $2 Super Chat coming in from Vibin' with the Dogs. Says, Captain Cam, 97, let's freaking go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. See, some people got some items that they won on the show. Pittsburgh Steelers fan 8 says he got his Russell Wilson jersey that he won on the show. Glad to see that. Then Hervey Dunn says, I got my t-shirt. Thank you so much, Jack. No, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Guys, we do prefer Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal compared to YouTube Super Chats, just so you guys know. The reasoning for that is because YouTube takes 30% of every single dollar that you donate in Super Chat. So if you send it to Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, we actually get to keep more of your donation dollars, and we put that money towards giving you guys more free content here on the channel every single day. So take a screenshot of your phone right now if you're watching us on mobile, so you guys always have those addresses of where you guys can find us. You can find us at Jack-Sperry on Venmo, # Captain Jack 19 on Cash App, and at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. Now, for those of you that are Black Diamonds, these are the people that have put in $500 or more on a singular Steelers Talk stream. We give them a shout out on every single show, and they have their very own Black Diamond stickers. So big shout out to Sam Pugh, F1 Video Watcher, Nathan Glass, Kurgan Cold, Platinum 666, Go Blue Buckeye, Elliptic 6, Gwendolyn, Marilyn Krieger, Pittsburgh Fan 412, Omar's Burner, Kyle King, KJ Live Life, Hot Rod 24, my mom Patty Gustafson, Fernando Martin, Cassie Voth, Pat Lepla, Paranormal in the Funhouse, Anthony Fuller, Steelers Dad, Nothing, DJ KJ, Steelers, Jax Keenan. Steelers, 1969. Les McCullum, Hervey Dunn. The Jerk is Mine. Damian Roy. Vince John, Flag. Christopher Roy. Joe Sperry, my brother. J.K. Bradley. Derek Smith. Christian Andujar, CWK, Kareem Richardson, Dylan Lewandowski, Alex Mannerful, Big Dog 412, Bentley, Kevin Reed, Mo Love, Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 8, Lord Buddy Bear, Pickens Prods, Austin Tardif, Ali DeRipa, Luca Skew, Tim Biana, Jack Ryan, Alex Sutton, Limesy, Ali DeRipa, Matthew Ziegler, Dominic, Daryl Oglesby, Offsides Edits, Andrew Longoria, Kenneth Leonard Sr., Vibing with the Dog, Super Steelers Gaming, and Luke Nessie. We got some new Black Diamond stickers here for you guys. So I did actually get to some Black Diamonds this weekend, Coop.
That?
So, I'm actually starting to catch up on this, guys. So appreciate all of our Black Diamonds, man. And you know what? We have actually gotten a little bit behind on ordering our Black Diamond jerseys here, Coop. So I actually have Cassie at home watching the show right now, and she's got a little bit of a spreadsheet of all the different people that are in Black Diamond Club and their numbers for their jerseys. So if you have not submitted your number for your Steelers Talk jersey, put it down there in the live chat, the number that you want and the name that you want on the jersey, plus what color. The two options are home or away, black or white Steelers jersey. So if you are a Black Diamond member and you have not messaged me what number that you want, get down there in the live chat. Cassie's going to hunt you guys down and get those numbers for your jerseys so we can put out a big order this week. So like the stream for me if you haven't already. Type me in the chat if you've liked the stream, if you want a shout out on the show. I see Cassie Voth. I see Pittsburgh Steelers fan 8. We got Vibing with the Dogs. We got Damian Roy. We got Lil Slush. We got Colton. We got Vibing with the Dogs. We got Vincent. We got Jamar. We got George Pickensburg. We got Pittsburgh Steelers fan 8. We got Brock Walker. We got a bunch of people. We got Jamar Bly. We got Pittsburgh Steelers fan 8. Christian Andujar is here. Lucas Skew, a Black Diamond, is here. Damian Roy is here. We got Tim Hopper. We got Lucky P23. Make sure you click that thumbs up icon. We got 130 people watching live around the world right now. Only 33 likes. We need to get this up to 50 likes before we get into our first segment today, Coop. So give some shout outs down there. We got Dylan Lewandowski. We got Bruce Tat. We got Various Love It. We got Lil Slush. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon. Still need 12 more likes to get into our first segment today. We got George Pickensburg. Bruce Tat. Keep spamming those me's if you haven't already. We got Hervey Dunn. We got James Murphy. Big Dog 412 is here. What's up, Big Dog 412? Good to see you, man. Big Dog, I see you want number 14. 14 is taken. 14 is taken. And I'm just going to say right now, guys, most of the iconic Steelers numbers are taken. So 43 is taken. 7 is taken. 14 is taken. 90 is taken. All right? A lot of the popular jersey numbers are taken, just so you guys know that. Okay, man. So before we get into our first segment today, I do want to take a little bit of time here because, this is a community first and foremost here on Steelers Talk. And we did get some sad news from one of the members of our community that's really important to us here at Steelers Talk, and I know is very, very important to all of you guys, and that's Kurgan Cole. And unfortunately for Kurgan, he lost his father over this past week. He called him Pop. And it's just a very unfortunate situation, man. He loved him dearly. He's been telling me about him. He's been texting me over the last several days, telling me how much he loved him, how much he meant to him personally. And he sent me this message earlier that he wanted me to share on the show. He raised 4 generations of kids, many grandkids. He was from Louisiana. His door was always open. He was a fantastic cook, hunter, mechanic. And he and my 4 sons built our home. Jovial, always telling tall tales. So Kurgan, just so you know, man, each and every member of Steelers Talk Nation is with you in this time of grieving. I think you said that you and your family are going to have a celebration of life at some point later this week. And I hope that you guys have a great time with that. Pop sounded like an unbelievable person. and his name was Kenneth McIntyre. I hope I'm saying that right, my friend. Hope I'm not butchering that pronunciation. But Kenneth, we just wanted to say that we love you. We appreciate you. And Kurgan, we love you as well. Our prayers go out to you and your family. And we do want to give a little bit of a salute to everyone who has served our country. Kenneth was a veteran. He served our country, and with 9/11 coming up here relatively soon, I think it's a good time to take a pause and just appreciate everything that our service members, servicemen and women do for our country here, and it really is an honor to serve them as they serve us here. So listen, man, I want to do a little bit of a moment of silence here for Mr. Kenneth, Kurgan's father, his pop, who passed away. And I also want to take this moment of silence for all the lost servicemen and women that we have lost over the several years. So if you join me in a moment of silence here for just a second, and we'll get into the show. Thank you, guys. Kurgan, we love you. Okay, so on today's show, guys, we're going to be getting into the Week 1 depth chart released by head coach Mike Tomlin. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Cam Hayward extension, what that means for this team moving forward. Then we will get into the Week 1 preview versus the Atlanta Falcons, and, of course, the AFC North preview. And speaking of Mr. Kurgan Cold, Kurgan, we love you. And he's coming in, and he is in the house. Everybody, I want everybody to spam Kurgan in the chat right now. Kurgan, I know it's a tough time for you and your family, but we love you. We appreciate you. I wish I could have met Pop, man. He sounded like an amazing person. And it sounds like you guys are going to do a good job celebrating his life today. So we got Dalton Sealer giving his love. Brock Walker, I'm Shifty. We got Colton. We got Vincent. We got Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 8. Spam those Kurgans. We got Hervey Dunn. We got Kareem Richardson putting King Kurgan in there. We got Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 412. We got Vibin with the Dogs. We got Big Dog 412. Lucas Skew, a bunch of black diamonds in here celebrating your dad, Kurgan. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. Lil Slush, George Pickensburg, John Riley. This is what Steelers talk is all about, man. When somebody's going through a tough time, what's up, Coop?
Do you want to start it on the depth chart photo or just with the Cam Hayward?
Yeah, the depth chart's fine. I'll say that's what we'll get into, and then we'll get into the Cam Hayward. So we got all the black diamonds in there. Kurgan says, I appreciate all the Yinzers. I love y'all. And you know what, man? This is what this community is all about, all right? Hot Rod 24 has had some tough times before. Paranormal in the Funhouse has gone through cancer treatment. There's a lot of people in our community going through tough times. And the reason why we do what we do here at Steelers Talk is that Yinzers all across the world have a place to come and talk about the Steelers, but also be a part of a community that truly cares for one another. Kurgan, we have your back. If there's anything that you need from us or this community, don't be afraid to ask. Appreciate all that you do for our channel. And with that, guys, we are ready to get into our first segment of the day. So let's get into it right now. Cam Hayward extension and a brand new depth chart for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Today on Steelers Talk, we're going to be talking about the Week 1 depth chart that head coach Mike Tomlin released earlier today. But before we get into that, we do have a little bit of a Steelers news alert, which is that star defensive tackle and team captain Cam Hayward has signed an extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He gets paid, and he will be in Pittsburgh for at least the next 3 seasons. Likely, this will be his final contract in the National Football League, and he will be a one-helmet player in this league, and that one helmet will be a Steelers helmet. So this was reported by Jeremy Fowler from ESPN today. Says sources, the Steelers and 6-time Pro Bowl defensive end Cam Hayward have agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal that includes $29 million in new money and $16 million fully guaranteed. Hayward, age 35, who had $16 million left on his final year of his previous deal, is now under contract through 2026, allowing a longtime captain to retire a Steeler. His signing bonus is nearly $15 million. Now, my thoughts on the Cam Hayward extension here is that I'm glad they got it done. All right. Personally, maybe I would have waited till next offseason just because, he is coming off that groin injury. You do have Keanu Benton and Larry Ogunjobi in-house right now. There's certainly a scenario where Cam Hayward, isn't the same player coming off that groin injury. He had groin surgery this offseason. So I certainly understand the argument for potentially waiting on a Cam Hayward extension. But listen, man, he is the heart and soul of this locker room. And honestly, for the number that you're getting him, right, it's like $14.5 million over the next 2 years after this season. It's a really, really good deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, they still spend too much money on defense. And yes, they're going to be paying an aging defensive tackle over $14 million over the next 2 seasons, per year over the next 2 seasons, I should say. But at the end of the day, man, this is somebody that is the leader in your locker room, the voice in your locker room. He really does a great job at exemplifying the standard is the standard in that group of men. And I definitely think that along with the value he brings to the field, right? He's still, when healthy, one of the best defensive interior defenders in the world. So I really do think that this move was the right move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they got him for a good price. I think that he is somebody that's going to provide a lot of value here over the next 3 seasons as he wraps up his NFL career. And now it's on the Pittsburgh Steelers to get him that Lombardi trophy and that ring on his finger that we all know that he deserves. Now, come on now, get down there in the comment section and show some love to Cam Hayward. Spam those 97s for me down there in the comment section to show love to Captain Cam. I know I'm happy for him, man. If you're happy for him as well, make sure you spam those 97s down there in the comments section. So today, let's get into the depth chart for Week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, released by head coach Mike Tomlin. It is the first depth chart that we are getting here for the regular season. Definitely some interesting things to talk about with this depth chart today. We get to the quarterbacks. Nothing new to discuss. Russell Wilson was already announced as the Steelers' starting quarterback. He will be under center when the team lines up against Atlanta on Sunday. Then in the running back room, something that's a little bit interesting here is that Najee Harris is listed above Jaylen Warren on the depth chart. Now, that's not a huge surprise. The team has definitely listed the running backs in this way for a while, but some people might have thought that Jaylen might leapfrog Najee to start the year, but Najee does appear to remain the number 1 option for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Week 1. It doesn't mean this won't be a committee. It absolutely will be. I do expect things to be relatively close to 50-50 in terms of touches this year. Najee's going to be the bruising back on early downs, goal line work, short yardage, and then Jaylen Warren is going to be the guy that comes in to provide the spark, the electricity, the big splash plays. Hopefully the Steelers can get this duo to be everything that they have the potential to be heading into the 2024 season. But let me know down there in the comments section, between these two backs, who's the better player? Let me know down there in the comments section by typing NH for Najee Harris or JW for Jaylen Warren. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then we get to the wide receivers here. George Pickens is listed as the number 1. Of course, Van Jefferson is still listed as the number 2. Calvin Austin III, I should say, is listed above Roman Wilson and Scotty Miller as the number 3 receiver. So not many surprises there based on what we saw from the earlier depth charts. Then we get to the tight end room. Same thing. Pat Freiermuth obviously still number 1. Darnell Washington will be the number 2. But honestly, guys, with as much as 12 and 13 personnel as Arthur Smith is going to want to use, I would expect usage out of all 4 of these tight ends at some point, especially with Hayward doubling as a fullback. Then we get to the offensive line here. Isaac Seumalo is still listed as the starting left guard, but he was deemed out by head coach Mike Tomlin today. And Tomlin also confirmed here that Spencer Anderson's going to be the next guy in line. And then another note here is that the starting tackle duo on the depth chart, Dan Moore Jr. at left tackle with Broderick Jones at right tackle. However, Mike Tomlin did leave the door open for Troy Fautano to slip in here and potentially move Broderick over to the left, start Fautano on the right. Troy has been working his way back from an injury during training camp, and he's been a limited participant this week in practice. If he's going to be able to play this week, I don't know, but if I'd have to guess right now, I do not think he is going to be in the lineup. And then when it comes to Spencer Anderson, it does seem like the Steelers feel like he's ready to kind of be the next man up with Isaac Seumalo out for about a month with that pectoral injury. I did speculate maybe you go out and you put in Mason McCormick instead of Spencer Anderson, but Mike Tomlin feels like this is somebody that's ready to go. Now, you look at his Pro Football Focus grades from the preseason, just a 64.3 overall grade. That's not a fantastic grade. Remember, it's out of 100, so that's kind of average. Run block grade is at a 61.1, and then pass block grade was at a 66.7. But you take a look here between the two stats comparing Spencer Anderson with Mason McCormick. And, I do think McCormick did a little bit better in pass protection than Anderson did in the preseason. And, I'm definitely shaky about where I stand with Spencer Anderson coming into this week as the starting left guard. He's still very unproven. It does seem like this coaching staff has a relatively high level of comfortability with him in the starting lineup, but until I see him play and really prove that in a regular season game, I'm going to be fairly uncomfortable heading into this week's matchup against Atlanta. But coming up next here on Steelers Talk, the defensive depth chart released by Mike Tomlin earlier today. You're not going to want to miss that. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch. And a great new feature from Game Time is called Game Time Picks, which filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets on a bunch of different ticketing apps. And the way that Game Time Picks works is that you go out and you find a game you want to go to, and then you simply select the button that says GT Picks on it, and then it automatically filters out the best possible tickets for you to get for that game on their app. So you don't have to go to a bunch of different ticketing sites. You don't even have to shop around really on the Game Time app. They find the best tickets at the best value for you, so you can get tickets extremely quickly at the lowest price guarantee. They also have all-in pricing on the app, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout. And then if you're someone like me, likes to get tickets last minute, they have flash deals, so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the start of your event. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, right down there and the bottom of your screen for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. So we get to the defensive depth chart here. Cam Hayward, newly signed. Congratulations to him. He's going to be a defensive tackle here in the 3-4 scheme. Then you got Keanu Benson at the starting nose tackle position. Larry Ogunjobi being listed as a defensive end in the 3-4 defensive front. Then you get to the inside linebackers. No surprises here. Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts will be your starting guys out there. But I will say, I think Peyton Wilson has earned the right to be in the rotation here. And I do think on kind of pass happy downs, right? Second and long, third and medium. When you pretty much know the opposing offense has to throw, Peyton Wilson's going to get on the field, and I think by season's end, he's going to take over as one of the starting inside backers. So like the video, if you haven't already, if you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to win versus the Atlanta Falcons in Week 1 on Sunday, man, I am pumped for this game. We have literally been waiting months for this moment. So if you're as excited as we are here on Steelers Talk, make sure you click that thumbs up icon and like today's video. Get to the safeties here. Minka and Deshaun will be the starting safety duo, but DeMonte KZ will come in when this team goes to their 3 safety package. And with Cam Sutton out with a suspension, I think that we might see that 3 safety package quite frequently. So watch out for Minka Elliott and DeMonte KZ to all get on the field at the same time. Then you get to the cornerback depth chart here. Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson, of course, will be your starting duo on the outside. But then Beanie Bishop Jr. was listed as the starting nickelback. Now, after they released Thomas Graham, and of course Cam Sutton is suspended for the first 8 weeks, of course we kind of expected that, but they didn't go out on waiver wire and get somebody else. They didn't go out in free agency and get somebody else. This team seems to believe in Beanie Bishop Jr.'s ability to be this team's nickel cornerback here while we wait for Cam Sutton to return from his suspension. And now the question seems to become, can Beanie hold on to the job even when Cam comes back? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Once we get to week 10 and Cam Sutton becomes eligible to play for this football team, who's going to be the starting nickelbacker? Let me know down there in the comments section. Will it still be Beanie Bishop Jr.? Will he earn the job long-term, type BB? Or do you think Cam Sutton will come in and play right away, type CS, if you think Cam gets the job? Then we get to the special teams unit, nothing to write home about. Same thing that we said during our roster breakdown video. Boz as the kicker, Cameron Johnson as the punter, and Christian Kuntz as the long snapper. So that's about it for today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors, guys. Appreciate your support. Make sure you guys type real one down there in the comment section if you haven't already. Put it in all caps for me because, you know, the people that make it to the end of these shows, I mean, they're the real ones. They're the ones that don't quit. They're not the ones clicking away at the ad break or anything like that. You guys are the real ones. So if you made it to the end of today's video, I want to know who you are. Type real one for me down there in the comments section. All right, first segment out of the way. We got Fernando Martin coming in with a $10 super chat. What's up, Fernando? Good to see you. Says, shot for Pop. Love you, Kurgan. Prayers for Pop. This is why I love this community, man. People have each other's backs. Fernando putting in a 10. I actually forgot to grab a shot, so Coop's going to go grab a couple shot glasses here while we pour one out. For Mr. Pop. $9 super chat from Kurgan Cold says, thank you to all veterans, first responders, fire, police, docs, nurses, and all those who keep us safe and put the USA ahead of their own safety. What's that? I got a Venmo as well. So Kurgan, couldn't have said it any better myself. If you are somebody that serves others for a living, especially in the military, we want to extend our gratitude out to you guys. I see Anthony Fuller is in the chat. Anthony, we appreciate your service to our country. For those of you that are the real ones and watch our show regularly, you know Anthony Fuller. I believe is still an active duty service member, if I'm not mistaken, Anthony. I might be that might not be the case anymore, but I know that you have watched our show from overseas before. So big shout out to Anthony Fuller for his service to our country. If there's any other veterans watching our show, we're gonna take this shot for you guys. All right, Kurgan, appreciate you. Fernando, appreciate you. Oh, I filled that one up, man. I filled that one up big time. All right, speaking of Anthony Fuller, let's go, baby. King Yinzer's in the chat with a $20 super chat. We are not worthy, Anthony Fuller, and I appreciate your service to our country, my friend. Thank you for being a real one. Thanks for watching the show, and thank you for serving our country selfishly or selflessly like you do. Didn't want that to come out wrong. Selflessly. Thank you so much, Anthony, for everything that you do for our channel, pal. All right, man, $20. So that means, you know what? I'm going to take a shot for Anthony Fuller as well. We're going to take a shot for Mr. Anthony Fuller. Anthony, appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I filled that one up. Oh, my goodness. Woo, let's go. Woo! Appreciate you, Anthony. And you said I got a Venmo, so let me check if I got one. Looks like we got actually two. Got two Venmos, so I will send those your way, Mr. Coop.
Wonderful. Shout out to Damian Roy Biden with the
So just so everybody knows in the chat, if you're a Black Diamond, the jerseys come to us, all right? So the jerseys come to us. We wear them on the watch parties, all right? So the people individually don't get the jerseys. We might do something where we send the jerseys, everyone's jersey to them after the season. But for the season, we're ordering the jerseys so we can wear them during the watch parties. So at least right away, you guys won't get your jerseys. So let's do this here. All right, so we got this guy.
Let's do it.
And
shout out Lucas Yu. Shout out Elliott Smith. Pittsburgh Fan Steelers A. Alida Ripa. Damian Roy. Slim Real. Shout out to everyone.
We do have some Venmo alerts to get to here momentarily. And I gotta say this right now. I'm gonna get my next shot ready. So coming up next here on Steelers Talk, I got my Week 1 preview for the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I've got keys to victory, my score prediction. I got key matchups. I got all the great stuff that you guys need to know before we kick things off on Sunday. So don't go anywhere. We do have over 170 people watching live right now. Still 80 likes. Can we get it up to 100 likes right now? Can we get it up to 100 likes? We got Christian Andujar in there. So Christian, I have you down at number 81. I have you down at number 81. We got Big Dog 412. We got Damian Roy. We got Ali DeReaper. We got Wild D in there. Got Elliott Smith. We got Vibing with the Dogs. Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 8. Of course, Kurgan Cold. All right, and then we got some Venmo alerts to get to. $10 Venmo from Elliott F. Smith. Was there a message next to this one? He says, Kurgan is a real one. He learned from the best. Talking about Pop there. Here's to a drink for Pop. Here we go, another one, baby. Okay, $10 from Mr. Elliott. Appreciate you, Elliott. Thanks for the 10. Everybody spam Elliott for me down there in the chat. Appreciate you, Elliott. $69 Venmo from my man, Pittsburgh Fan 412.
Spam those nices.
Got those 69s going in there, and he says he says for Kurgan's Pop. Is what the message was for that 69. So Kurgan, hope you're feeling the love today, man. This community is behind you 100%. Pittsburgh Fan 412, I appreciate your support. Okay, so let's get into this next segment here, guys. If you guys want to continue to send in donations, that's great. If not, no big deal whatsoever. Every 10, we're taking shots. Every 50 is a tortilla slap. Hundreds, we bang. Plus, here we go, Steelers, and then a 500, we get to hit the gong. All right, so that'd be fantastic, okay, if we could hit the gong today. But in the meantime, we do have content that we need to get to, guys. So let's get into it right now. My Week 1 preview, Steelers versus Falcons. Let's get into it right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers open up their 2024 campaign against the Atlanta Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So today we're going to be previewing that matchup. I got keys to victory. I got my score prediction. I've got a full scouting report on Kirk Cousins. It's going to be a loaded edition of Steelers Talk here. But before we get into it, make sure you click that subscribe button right now because we will be having our first live watch party for the Steelers regular season this year. Steelers versus Falcons. We're going to be going live an hour before kickoff. So 12 p.m. Eastern time is when we're going to be going live right here on YouTube. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already to make sure you never miss any of our wild live watch parties. So for Week 1 here, the Pittsburgh Steelers will face off against the Atlanta Falcons. New quarterback Russell Wilson will be making his Steelers debut. And, of course, Arthur Smith, former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, in his first game calling plays for the Black and Gold, will be facing off against his former team in his former home stadium. So Arthur Smith, this is going to be a very important game for him as he seeks revenge on the team that just let him go. So let's take a look at the brand new coaching regime there in Atlanta. Raheem Morris, one of Mike Tomlin's best friends in the coaching business, is the new head coach in Atlanta. The offensive scheme that they run is a third-generation West Coast offense in the mold of a Sean McVay style of offense. So a lot of 11 personnel, a lot of outside zone run scheme, lots of play action, lots of bootlegs, lots of stuff like that you see from the Rams and the 49ers and all these other teams that run this style of offense. Zach Robinson is the hotshot new offensive coordinator that a lot of Steelers fans wanted here in Pittsburgh. Instead, goes with Raheem Morris there in Atlanta to call plays for him. Then we get to the defense, and in Los Angeles, Raheem Morris played a Vic Fangio-style quarters-based defense, but he's played everything under the sun. He has worked under a bunch of great defensive minds throughout his NFL career, so he's somebody that can definitely mold his defense into whatever it needs to be to fit the strengths of his players. So Jimmy Lake is his new defensive coordinator. He's actually going to be calling plays. So I'm very intrigued to see what we see from the Atlanta Falcons schematically heading into this year, because I'm not exactly sure it's going to look like what it has been in years past with the Raheem Morris defense. So, just keep these numbers with a grain of salt, guys, because obviously Arthur Smith is no longer there. Desmond Ridder is no longer the quarterback, but this is what they did last season. Honestly, Arthur Smith keeping this offense afloat in kind of like league average in yards per game and yards per play was kind of a miracle given the quarterback play he had last year. But at the end of the day, man, 46.8% in the red zone touchdown percentage, that is just not good enough. And then they gave up the football a lot, gave up the ball 28 times. That's not a recipe for success. But then on defense, they actually did pretty darn good, man. They were third in third down percentage, fourth in red zone percentage. They didn't take the ball away too much. Didn't have the best pass rush in the world. But last year, man, they played a very aggressive style of defense there in Atlanta. And, they have some pretty darn good players, especially in the secondary on this football team. But, again, they run a completely new scheme, it seems like. So take these numbers with a grain of salt. So key departures for the Atlanta Falcons this offseason. Of course, Arthur Smith got fired, ended up becoming the OC here in Pittsburgh. Desmond Ridder, obviously, was their starting quarterback last year. Taylor Heineke, another quarterback that played quite a bit, left. Cordero Patterson left for the Steelers as well. Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell both went to the Dolphins. And then Bud Dupree and Jeff Okudah, two starters for them last year, went to other teams as well. But then their key additions, of course, they signed Raheem Morris as their next head coach, Zach Robinson as somebody that's seen as kind of like the next in line there in the Sean McVay tree. Then you get Kirk Cousins as your new franchise quarterback. Michael Penix is somebody that they drafted number 8 overall in a shocking move. And then they also added Darnell Mooney and rookie edge rusher Braylon Trice. So those are the notable additions for this roster. And honestly, guys, I think that they got better this offseason. I really believe in Raheem Morris as a head coach. I think he's a great leader of men. I think he's a really good defensive mind. And Zach Robinson knows what he's doing, I believe, as an offensive play caller. Kirk Cousins is a huge upgrade over Desmond Ridder and what they had previously. And of course, they just added Matthew Judon and Justin Simmons last minute in NFL free agency. So this is a team that has a lot of talent on it, and they've got big aspirations heading into this season. So still to come here on Steelers Talk, keys the victory versus this football team, versus the Falcons, all right? Then we'll go into Kirk Cousins' in-depth scouting report, how the Steelers can manipulate his weaknesses to achieve victory. And then make sure you guys stick around to the end of today's show, because I have my Week 1 score prediction between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. You guys are not going to want to miss that. But before we get into the rest of today's Week 1 preview for the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps, guys, Prize Picks, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the number. So all you have to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and then watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the Prize Picks community today. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in the month of September. That's right, only 1 yard from Caleb Williams gets you an automatic win every football weekend in the month of September. That means 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks, because it's going to be gone the second the month of September ends. Also, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes with our friends at Prize Picks. For my Week 1 projections here, I'm going to take the more on the 1 yard Caleb Williams. I mean, obviously, that's a no-brainer. Then I'm going to take the more on receiving yards for Tyreek Hill, because, of course, he's going to get at least 100 yards, right? Then I'm going to take the more on James Conner rushing yards, because he's one of the more underrated running backs in football. I think he's going to get a really nice start to his 2024 campaign. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. So the first key to victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers this week is to get after Kirk Cousins, all right? This is somebody that is a statue in the pocket. Now, when you look at Kirk Cousins' game and what he does well versus what he doesn't do well, he's very good at the mental side of the game. He can decipher defenses. He knows where to go with the football, and he makes good decisions. Also, he's very accurate, and he's very good at throwing the ball down the field, all right? That connection that he had with Justin Jefferson was special, in part because Kirk Cousins' deep ball is one of the best in the game. However, the cons with him is that he is a statue. He's not going to create outside of structure as a rusher or anything like that. The pocket presence is definitely suspect. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best pass rush teams in the National Football League, they need to really exploit that and get after him and put him on his butt. I do think that the way that you do that is that you play a lot of single high coverage. You put Minka out there as the center fielder. You bring Deshaun Elliott into the box, and you play and you get after the quarterback with a bunch of blitz coverages, man, and you trust your corners to hold up against the Atlanta wide receiver group. But the problem here is, guys, the problem with getting after Kirk Cousins is that this offensive line is actually pretty darn good here in Atlanta. So you take a look at the starting rotation here and where these guys ranked in Pro Football Focus grading at their positions last year. Jake Matthews, Drew Dahlman, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, all these guys are top 20 guys, arguably at their position year in and year out. Matthew Bergeron is a second-year player that had a promising rookie season. They're hoping he takes the next step. So this offensive line is one of the best in the National Football League, so the Steelers' pass rush will certainly have their work cut out for them. However, what I will say about this offensive line is that they are a lot better as a run-blocking unit than they are a pass-protecting unit. So that's going to give opportunities to guys like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, the newly signed Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, and others to get after Kirk Cousins, and that is a must if the Steelers want to walk away with the W in this one. And then another big part of containing this Atlanta offensive attack is containing Bijan Robinson. Now, we know coming out of Texas, Robinson was one of the most dynamic running back prospects to ever enter the National Football League, and he still is that player, right? He's entering year 2. He had some really great moments with the Atlanta Falcons last year under Arthur Smith. A lot of people said Art didn't utilize him enough. I don't think Zach Robinson's going to have that issue. So listen, man, this is arguably the best run-blocking offensive line in football today, and you got a dynamic threat at running back in Bijan Robinson. The Steelers can't contain him, and Bijan's running all over the yard. They're going to come away with the victory. However, if the Steelers can stop the Atlanta rushing attack, there's a really good chance they walk away with the win. Another guy that they absolutely need to stop is Matthew Judon, the new Atlanta Falcon that this team traded for during training camp this year. And the reason why specifically I call out Judon is because he is their number 1 edge rusher, and he's likely going to be going up against Broderick Jones, who had a really, really tough preseason. Okay, so you're gonna have arguably your worst pass protector out there one-on-one against Matthew Judon, their number 1 pass rusher. So this is definitely a key matchup to keep your eye on, and this is definitely a weak spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of this matchup. If Jones can hold his own against Judon and keep Russell Wilson clean, I think that's going to go a long way in helping the Steelers come away with the win in this one. Then we get to my 4th key to victory here. And just in general, can the offensive line as a unit hold up against the Atlanta Falcons? Because we know Isaac Seumalo will be out in this football game, and it looks like Spencer Anderson will be your starting left guard. So you take a look at this expected starting 5. Dan Moore Jr., he had a pretty darn good preseason, but in the regular season, he hasn't been great. Spencer Anderson is a complete unknown entity and a backup. Zach Frazier was really good as a pass protector, but not as much as a run blocker. James Daniels is 100% solid, no concerns with him. But then Broderick Jones had a lot of concerns on his tape during the preseason as well. So the scary truth as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan right now is that there's only one starting offensive lineman heading into this week that at least I feel 100% confidence in. And listen, man, over the course of the season, I do think Zach Frazier is going to get to that point where I have 100% confidence. I think Dan Moore Jr., if he continues his good play after training camp and preseason, he can quickly solidify that confidence in me. But right now, James Daniels is the only offensive lineman expected to start this week with that I feel 100% confidence in, and that scares me a lot. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are ready for Sunday, if you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to win on Sunday afternoon and start this season at 1-0, what are you waiting for? Make sure you click that thumbs up icon right now. Then we get to another key to victory here, which is to get the supplementary wide receivers going for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the reason why I say that is because the Atlanta Falcons have a legit shutdown number one corner in A.J. Terrell. And he's going to be going up and he's going to be shadowing George Pickens everywhere that he goes. Okay, so even though I do expect George to have a couple big plays in this game, I don't think it can be just GP getting the job done in the wide receiver room. You have to expect and you have to really ask at least one of these other receivers here, whether that's Pat Freiermuth, whether that's Van Jefferson, whether that's Calvin Austin III. You're going to need to get help from other receiving weapons because George Pickens is going to have his handful with A.J. Terrell. And honestly, the rest of this cornerback group, the linebacking group here in Atlanta isn't all that great. So look for specifically Van Jefferson and Pat Freiermuth to have very key roles in the Steelers' passing attack on Sunday. So let me know down there in the comments section, who will be the Steelers' top two wide receivers this week? Do you think it's going to be George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth? Do you think it's going to be George Pickens and Van Jefferson? Is it a different combination? Do you think Jaylen Warren gets in that mix? Let me know down there in the comments section who will be the top two receivers for the Steelers on Sunday. Then the final key to victory here for the Steelers is to protect the football. If the Steelers do this, if Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, and Jaylen Warren do not cough up the football, this game is going to be close in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers are going to have a shot to win this game. Plain and simply, man, when you look at the Steelers, man, they got a great defense that's capable of not only getting sacks and stops, but also stopping teams on third downs. Like this defense is going to be really good. The way the Steelers can get blown out in these games is if they start turning the ball over. So it's very, very important for new starting quarterback Russell Wilson to do what he was brought in to do, protect the football, take shots when they're there to be made, and kind of just manage the game. And hopefully by the end of it here, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to come away victorious. And you know what? I'm going to predict the Pittsburgh Steelers and their defense to dominate this football game and to come away with the victory. 20-13. It's a new team with a new offense, all this stuff. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for that team to gel, whereas the Steelers have Mike Tomlin. They've had him for like the last 17 years, almost two decades. This team's going to be ready to go. I think Russell Wilson's going to come in. He's going to manage the game well. I think the offense is going to be stymied a little bit. It's going to be a little bit frustrating for the Steelers offensively, but I think the defense really does a good job. They get a major turnover leading to a touchdown, and the Steelers win this one 20-13. Now it's your turn. Let me know down there in the comments section. Predict the score of Steelers versus Falcons for me down there in the comments section. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say about this week one matchup. All right, guys, make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got breakdowns like this and previews for every single Steelers game this year, as well as daily videos for free here on YouTube. And don't forget, we have that live watch party on Sunday afternoon. So for all of that great Steelers content, what are you waiting for? Lock yourself in right now and click that subscribe button. All right, got some donations to get to here. Chris, my man, everybody spam Chris in the chat. Says, can anyone tell me what the F the Steelers are doing with the offensive line? We spent 2 first-round picks at tackle, and both are huge question marks. Do you agree? So, Chris, I do agree that they're both question marks. I think Troy Fautano is going to be very solid, okay? Maybe it takes him a year to get his feet wet in the league, like it does for a lot of tackles, but I think Fautano will eventually be really, really good. Broderick Jones is the guy I'm a little bit worried is going to be a bust. And the reason why I say that is we're in year 2, and there were multiple moments in this preseason where he was getting his ass handed to him by some really good edge rushers like Gregory Rousseau. But listen, man, I think that they did him a disservice by putting him at right tackle and trying to make him play both sides. I think Mike Tomlin said at his press conference today, yeah, we love Broderick's versatility. And it's like, he's not really that versatile. He's not really a good pass protector on the right side. Like, he was always strictly a left tackle before he came to the Steelers. And I feel like this is a trend with Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh, is that they kind of put guys out of place, right? Kevin Dotson was always a right guard. They put him at left guard, and it didn't work, right? And they were just stubborn about it and wanted him to play left guard. And they're doing literally the same exact thing to Broderick Jones, right? And at some point, you have to say, listen, man, if he's going to be your future left tackle, just put him at left tackle. All right, and maybe once Troy Fautanu is all the way back, they end up making that decision. And I think that a lot of Steelers fans would want them to make that decision. But right now, Broderick has pretty much only practiced at right tackle. He has gotten reps on the left. Like, it's not like he hasn't practiced there. But most of his reps are coming on the right side, and it's not looking good. And he's heading into year 2 when things really need to start getting going for him. So I think Fautanu is going to be fine. In the long run here. I really believe in him. He's got long arms, a low center of gravity, great strength, and great mentality, great technique as well, and intelligence. I think Fautanu is going to be a mainstay. I think that pick will work out. Broderick, however, has always been a bit more risky, a bit more raw as a player. Obviously, massively talented physically. Big body, can move. His get-off at the snap is incredible. So there's certainly positive aspects to Broderick Jones, but right now he's always been somebody that's needed to be developed, and he hasn't been developed. So hopefully that development continues on. Coop just went to the bathroom and just came in and said, I almost wazzed myself. Somebody put that on a quote plaque. Put that on a super chat, Coop. Got some more we have some Venmos to get to as well. So we have one Venmo to get to. I'll send it your way here. So we have another super chat to get to as well. We do have one more segment to get to before the end of the show. Dominic says, that's why you need to put him at left tackle and put Fautanu at right tackle. Yeah, I think that, if Broderick's going to make it in this league, it's going to be as a left tackle. So I'm hoping once Fautanu is back and he's playing, I hope that they just give Broderick a shot at left. And honestly, I think a lot of Broderick's issues go beyond just not being comfortable on the right side. Like, his hand placement is terrible. I don't think that fixes on the left side. His footwork as a whole and his balance isn't great. Maybe that does get helped a little bit by putting him on the left side. I really hope Broderick plays better on the left side than he is on the right side, and hopefully he plays well on the right side this weekend. I mean, I'm rooting for the kid. I really am. And I'm really hoping that at the end of the day, both of these tackles are your bookend tackles here for the next decade here in Pittsburgh. $2 super chat from one of our new Black Diamonds. Kenneth Leonard Sr. says, sorry for your loss, Kurgan. God bless, with a $2 super chat, Kenneth. I know Kurgan appreciates those nice words. That's awesome stuff, my man. And Kurgan says, thanks, y'all Yinzers, for the condolences. I love y'all. Kurgan, we love you, my friend. And by the way, Kurgan sends in a $69 Venmo. Everybody spam those nices for Mr. Kurgan. It looks like he's on his way out here. He says, Pops' life celebration is on Sunday. Y'all hold it down, Yinzers. Appreciate you, Kurgan. Thanks for stopping by today. If you have to go now or whatever the case may be, hope to see you on Thursday. If not, not a big deal. Kurgan, appreciate you, my friend. $69 Venmo. We got Vibing with the Dogs spamming those nices. We got Jachin Watkins spamming those nices. We've got Pittsburgh Fan 412 spamming Kurgan. We got Elliott Smith. And you know what we haven't done yet, Coop? We haven't banged today. Pause.
Pause. What?
We have not banged today.
We have not.
Wonder if we can get a bang for for Mr. Kenneth today, Mr. Pops. We got Elliott Smith, we got Fernando Martin, we got Vibin' with the Dogs. Damian Roy says no more Taco Bell for Coop.
It was not that.
It was not Taco Bell related.
It was the liquid related.
It was the liquid. It was the water related.
Yes.
All right, guys. So if you want to send in a donation, it's more than welcome. We appreciate all of your guys' support. $10 is a shot. $50 is a tortilla slap. $100 we bang for you. Plus we do Here We Go Steelers. $500 is a gong hit plus a black diamond. So appreciate your guys' support. It's not necessary. It's not required by any stretch of the imagination. But if you want to send in a donation, any of that stuff, you guys can send it in via Super Chat, or you can send it on Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. If you guys need any of that information, just hit up Cassie in the live chat. Cassie just says, I don't even know what that means. Cassie just sent me a message. I have no idea what that means. So Cassie, if you want to rephrase that and let me know.
What do you mean by that?
I have no idea what that means. So just let me know what you guys what just rephrase that, Cassie. Okay, let's get into it. We still got 150 people watching. 114 people have liked the show. It looks like we have Andrew Longoria.
We do?
Coming in with a $2 super chat. He says, condolences, Kurgan. My prayers are with the fam. This is what I love about this community, man. We have each other's backs.
You all right?
Yep, she just rephrased it. I just answered her questions. So $2 super chat from Andrew. Andrew, you've been a real one for a long time. You guys know Kurgan quite well. So I appreciate you, Andrew, for your support. And
I like Kurgan's question, by the way.
What's that?
Kurgan in the chat says, Cassie said, where is the ring?
Yeah, I mean, we can keep talking about this, man, but it's good. The answer is the answer to the question on the ring question is it's gonna come when it comes. Pause.
Let's get into this content. Good
God.
All
right, man. Let's get into this final segment here. AFC North preview.
Sperry and Rosie going to be sleeping on the couch?
Yep, probably. Well, we're actually watching another dog this weekend, too.
Are you?
Miss Beasley.
Interesting.
She's probably watching with Cassie right now. Okay, let's get into this final one here. Appreciate you guys' support. We'll might do like a shot clock sort of deal here at the end of the show. But in the meantime, we do have content to get to. AFC North preview from the lens of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The AFC North this year is not only going to be featured on HBO's Hard Knocks, but is expected to be the most competitive division in the National Football League for the 2024 season. So today, we're going to break down all the other teams in the AFC North. We talk about the Steelers every single day here on Steelers Talk, and we'll talk a little bit about the Steelers and how they stack up in this division at the end of today's show. But today, we're going to be talking about the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals, breaking down what to expect from those teams this year and where the Steelers rank among these four teams in this division. So before we get into it today, predict it for me down there in the comments section. Which AFC North team is going to win the division? All right, it's always one of the most competitive divisions in football, this year especially. So predict it for me. Who comes away with the division crown? Predict it for me to kick off today's show. So last year, the Steelers finished third in the division at 10-7. Of course, 3 teams from this division made the playoffs last year. 13-4 were the Ravens, 11-6 were the Cleveland Steamers, and then the Cincinnati Pussycats were at 9-8 with Joe Burrow hurt pretty much the entire season. At least at some degree. So first up here, let's talk about the reigning division champions, those dreaded Ratbirds. I hate them just as much as you do, guys. But listen, man, this is a good football team. And even though they lost Mike McDonald, their defensive coordinator, I mean, this is still a very, very good team that needs to be reckoned with. You take a look at their stats from last year, top 5 in offense and pretty much top 2 in defense. You can make an argument they had the best defense in football last year. They were tied for the most takeaways on defense in the league last season. So obviously this is a team last season that was just absolutely unbelievable, especially in the regular season. So let's take a look at their head coach, John Harbaugh, here and what he has in terms of his offensive and defensive staff. They run a modern pro spread offense with Todd Monken as their second-year offensive coordinator. Monken really took this offense to a whole nother level, replacing Greg Roman. And really adding a lot to the passing game in particular for this Ravens offense. Then on defense, Zach Orr is a first-time defensive play caller in the NFL, replacing Mike Macdonald. And, of course, they run the same attacking 3-4 scheme they ran last year. Key departures for the Baltimore Ravens include their defensive coordinator last year, their boy genius, and Mike Macdonald. Then you got Jadeveon Clowney, their number one edge rusher left. Patrick Queen, an all-pro linebacker left. Morgan Moses, one of their starting tackles left. And then also two starting guards, Kevin Zeitler and John Simpson. So 3 members of your starting offensive line from last year all gone. Then Odell Beckham Jr. and Geno Stone also left for other teams. But they also made quite a few additions. They added Zach Orr as their new defensive coordinator. They added Derrick Henry to this very potent running game now with Lamar Jackson handing the ball off to King Henry. David Ojabo coming back from injury last year. Same thing with Andrew Voorhees. Those 2 trench players will definitely help them out a lot this year. Nate Wiggins was their first-round pick this year out of Clemson. TJ Tampa is another long corner they got on day 3. Eddie Jackson and Roger Rosengarten are other players that they added that could potentially start. So my take on the Baltimore Ravens this year is that, listen, man, as long as they can keep up that defensive standard that Mike Macdonald had last year under Zach Orr, they should be title contenders once again this year. They got a very potent run game. They still have good enough receivers. Of course, Mark Andrews is returning from injury. Lamar Jackson is still very dynamic. So as much as I hate these guys, I do think Baltimore is once again going to be very successful under John Harbaugh in 2024. But make no mistake, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers are still the Baltimore Ravens' daddies, and it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if this team here in the black and gold sweeps the Baltimore Ravens yet again this year, and that might make the difference in the division standings at the end of the day. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, more AFC North breakdowns. We're going to talk about the Browns and the Bengals, and then we'll talk about how the Steelers stack up in this division heading into the year. But before we get into all that great content, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game at Acrisure Stadium, whether that be for the Pitt Panthers or for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on TV. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't waste time searching through thousands of tickets. So it's really a great feature, guys. All you got to do is you got to get on the Game Time app, pick a game you want to go to, and then you tap GT Picks, meaning Game Time Picks, and it automatically filters through every single ticket in their database, and they use a special algorithm to show you the best possible deals that you can get on their app for that game. It's absolutely unbelievable, and it allows you to do super quick ticket shopping because you don't have to go around and compare prices and all this different stuff. It already does all that for you, so it's the only ticketing app that you need on your phone. And alongside Game Time Picks, which is already a groundbreaking feature, Game Time already had the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. They also have all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout. And then you also get flash deals right before the start of your event, so you can get even cheaper tickets the longer that you wait. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, it's only for that first purchase. Create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS. It's in the bottom right of your screen right now for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. So now let's talk about the Cleveland Steamers here because, listen, man, I got peruse around Browns Twitter every once in a while, and that fan base feels extremely confident in their football team heading into this year. They think Deshaun Watson is going to be a superstar quarterback. They think this team is going to win the Super Bowl for the first time in their pathetic franchise's history. So let's take a look at what they did last year. Take a look at the offensive stats and defensive stats. Points per game last year defensively wasn't as good as maybe this defense is billed out to be. They have a really good pass rush. They were really efficient in terms of the yards per play given up. But listen, man, the yards per play on offense last year was abysmal at 28th in the league. They also had the most giveaways out of any offense in football. So they're hoping that those trends do not continue this year. Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year, and I didn't agree with that pick whatsoever if you're asking me personally, but he did win the trophy last year. The offensive scheme that he runs is a Mike Shanahan style, second generation West Coast offense run by Stefanski himself. And then you get to the defense, and the big X factor last year for Cleveland was bringing in Jim Schwartz, their new defensive coordinator, who runs a 3-4 attacking scheme. Lots of blitzing, lots of press man coverage, very aggressive. And that's why they had so much success last year. So key departures for this football team this offseason: Joe Flacco, who was this team's best quarterback last year. Yes, I'm just going to say it. Deshaun Watson was not the best quarterback on this team last year. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Sione Takitaki, and Anthony Walker Jr. were the other starters to leave. Then some key additions for the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston is their new backup quarterback, who is pretty much a younger version of Joe Flacco. They both throw the ball down the field. They both put the ball in harm's way. Very, very similar play style of quarterbacks there. Jerry Jeudy is the wide receiver they acquired via trade. Good luck with his butterfingers. Jamari Thrash, Jordan Hicks, and Devin Bush are some other starters they added this year. So my take on the Cleveland Browns is that Deshaun Watson's going to drag this team down. Eventually, Nick Chubb is expected to be back. Amari Cooper is still here. He's still very good. The defense and the pass rush are still excellent, and the defense as a whole is excellent. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a quarterback in this league that can at least be efficient, you're not going to be a good football team. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback of this football team by week 18. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comment section. Deshaun Watson is the blank best starting quarterback in the NFL today. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. What you guys are thinking. For me personally, I'd put him somewhere in between the 22nd to 26th best quarterback. He's definitely not in the top 10 any longer. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you hate the Cleveland Browns, I know I hate the Cleveland Steamers. If you're with me on that, make sure you click that thumbs up icon and rep your team. And finally here, let's get to the Pussycats. They're in Cincinnati. I think a lot of people feel like Joe Burrow is fully healthy again. This is going to be a very good football team. But, you have to take into account that the Cincinnati Bengals defense last year was straight up garbage. Kenny Pickett looked good against this defense last year, and they lost some players on their defense this offseason. Some very big players on their defense that we'll get to in a second, but dead last in yards per play allowed, 21st in points per game allowed. And then the offense, obviously Joe Burrow was hurt, and then he really got hurt, and Jake Browning came in, protected the football well. But listen, man, this defense is going to have to play a lot better if they want to win the division and make the playoffs out of the AFC North this year. Key departures here: nose tackle DJ Reader, one of the best nose tackles in the league. He's going to be sorely missed in terms of their run defense this year. Joe Mixon, their starting running back, left. Their number one corner, Chidobe Awuzie, left in free agency. Tyler Boyd, a good slot receiver, left for Tennessee as well. And then Jonah Williams, one of their starting tackles, left in free agency. But they do add some people in free agency here. They do add a couple of offensive tackles, some guys that I really liked heading into free agency and in the draft. For those of you that followed our offseason coverage, you guys know that I was a big advocate of getting Trent Brown. The Bengals went out and got him. I was a big advocate for going out and getting Amarius Mims in the draft. They got both of those guys. Mims has been dealing with injuries, so I guess we'll see how this offensive line shakes out. But they also got Zach Moss, Mike Gesicki, Jermaine Burton out of Alabama, a very talented receiver. Keep your eye on Burton this year. Sheldon Rankins, a defensive tackle, Von Bell, and Geno Stone to be their new safety tandem. Now, listen, man, obviously Joe Burrow returning fully healthy. You still got Jamar Chase, if he plays, that is. T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Jermaine Burton. They do have some good pieces on this offense, and I do think the offense will be good. But to be competitive in this division, you have to have a legitimate defense. They didn't have that last year, and I'm not sure if they made enough additions on that side of the ball to really feel good about that side of the ball in Cincinnati this year. So it's a big question. I guess we'll see how it all plays out. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Will the Bengals defense stink again this year? Give me a yes or a no. For me personally, I think they're going to get better than they were last year. It's hard to be worse than you were last year if you're the Bengals, but I definitely don't think it's going to be a top 10 unit in the NFL. So now we've gone over the other three teams in the AFC North. Let's talk about how the Pittsburgh Steelers stack up in this division, okay? And, I think that there's four main categories that you want to look at when comparing your team to other teams. That's coaching staff, quarterback, offense, and defense. For me, I think the Steelers still have the best coaching staff in the division. Now, maybe you disagree and you think Mike Tomlin stinks, but personally, I think Mike Tomlin is an awesome head coach, and I think he's the best head coach in this division. Quarterback and offense overall, I don't think they're on the same level as Lamar Jackson and the Ravens or Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think they have quite the star talent to keep up with those guys, but they're not the worst. I think Cleveland does have the worst offense because they do have the worst quarterback. And then defensively, I think the Steelers might have not only the best defense in this division, but the best defense in football. They got an incredible pass rush, a lockdown number one corner, Joey Porter Jr., some real nice pieces at inside linebacker, Minkah Fitzpatrick, roam in the middle. I think this defense is going to be special this year. And it's going to be the reason why the Steelers are heavily, heavily competitive in this division. Now, what I will say here, guys, is that on paper, I think the Steelers are the third best team in the division. Okay, but there's a reason why these things get decided on the field and not in terms of on paper before the season starts. I think Baltimore, when you look at their roster, it's the best overall roster, maybe in football. Then you get to Cincinnati, lots of great talent, especially offensively. I think on paper you take Cincinnati over Pittsburgh. But here's the thing, man. Like I said, this thing is going to be won on the field, especially in the AFC North, where you know that those division matchups at the end of the season are going to determine division rankings, playoff seeding, all that stuff. And that's where Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers thrive. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see the Pittsburgh Steelers at the top of this division this year. Honestly, I could see any team in this division, maybe other than Cleveland, win the division. I'm pretty bullish on Deshaun Watson being pretty darn bad this year. But, I think if you're saying the Ravens, Bengals, or Steelers win the division this year, I think that's pretty realistic. Now it's your turn. Let me know down there in the comments section, where will the Steelers finish in the AFC North this year? Will they finish first, second, third, or fourth? Let me know your take down there in the comments section. Thank you for stopping by today, man. If you want more Steelers content like this every single day, keeping you guys informed on everything Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure you click that subscribe button right now and help us get to 60,000 subscribers. All right, got some more donations coming in here before we wrap it up for the day. Kermit is my God with a $2 super chat says, should we have taken A.D. Mitchell over Frazier?
Yes.
Personally, I would have, yes.
That's my guy, number one.
Because here's the thing. You could have had a pretty darn good center when you drafted Roman Wilson.
Yeah, probably.
But here's the thing. I heard some things behaviorally with A.D. Mitchell that were not savory.
That was at Georgia. He became a new man when he came to the
Apparently it continued in Texas.
That's not what I've heard.
Then why did he fall so far when he was so good?
I don't know.
It's because he didn't interview well.
Because he tore his ACL twice.
Well, that's part of it. But also, he did not interview well.
That doesn't mean behavioral.
But apparently, that played a role. Oh, by the way, I see Steel Eyes in the chat. Steel Eye, I need to talk to you, my friend. How do we get in contact with you about the Minkah Fitzpatrick jersey? Let us know, Steel Eye. I want to get that jersey sent to you. So if it's email, I don't think you want to put your email in the chat, but let me know, Steel Eye. What's the best way to reach you so that we could?
I'll put your email in the chat. How about that?
All right, sounds good. $10 from Steel Eye says, hey, Kurgan, thanks for the Minkah jersey. Appreciate you. Kurgan, if you're still watching, we did raffle off that Minkah jersey last week, and Steel Eye was the one to end up getting
a message.
He sent me a message on X.
What?
I thought I checked my messages on X.
I guess not. F. Sperry in the chat.
What's your name on X, Steel Eye?
I think you could read the message and figure it out.
I don't see it.
Is it in your DM requests?
Is it?
Probably.
No. Nope. I don't see anything, man.
Spare Dog's blind.
Steel Eye, let me know what your @ is on Twitter.
I'm going to take a shot for Steel Eye. Shout out to him.
Steel Eye, let me know
Rob Boyd @ Steel Eye.
Rob Boyd. Trying. Why am I not
CLI.
seeing this?
Is it on your other Twitter account?
Rob Boyd.
Woo! Shut up, CLI. He said, no worries, I'll email you, LOL. He's going to email you.
Wait, is this it?
You found him?
No. I don't think so.
He's going to email you.
Okay, email me. All right, email me.
Sperry at chatsports.com.
Sperry at chatsports.com. Send me your shipping info so I can get that sent to you, Steeli. Appreciate you.
You must have deleted the DM, Steeli.
Or I didn't get it.
I trust Steeli over you.
Fair enough. Let's see. Did we get any more Venmos? Yes, we did get some Venmos.
What up, Kevin Reed? Kevin Reed in the chat.
What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, man. Oh, we got this one here. We got just one Venmo alert here, Coop.
Uno?
So if you want to put up a shot clock here, Coop, like maybe 3 minutes or so. If you guys have something to say, if you want to get on the show, if you want to send in a donation, we appreciate it, but it's definitely not necessary. Still got 137 people watching live. Next time we're going live, by the way, is Thursday. Same time, same place, 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Shout out to Steeler Jacks.
Steeler Jacks coming in with a $10 Venmo. My man, Steeler Jack says, U.S. Air Force veteran of 15 years, love yins, and at... I don't know what that final part is, but Steeler Jacks, we appreciate your service. Everybody give it up for Jacks in the chat. I want to see everybody spam Jacks with two X's in the chat. Everybody that spams Jacks in the chat gets a shout out. Shout out to Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 8. Shout out to Fernando Martin, Big Dog 412, Elliott Smith, Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 8, Jamar Bly, Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 412. We got Hunt the Killer. We got Vibing with the Dogs, Lucas Skew, George Pickensburg. Lord Buddy Bear is here. What's up, Buddy Bear?
Lord Buddy Bear.
We've got Jamar Bly. We got Brock Walker. We got Damian Roy. George Pickensburg is here. Let's go, man.
Says he won't be here Thursday. Got a baseball game. That's what's up.
All good, man. If you're busy, you're busy. I appreciate you anyway. Shot clock is now on. 5 minutes here.
Did you see what Steeler Jack said?
Says, good job, Coop. Spelled right. Great job, Coop.
Yeah, Sperry doesn't know how to spell sometimes, so when he sends me the names, I just copy what he says. So that's me. Paul Skeens pitches tonight, Spare Dog.
Yeah, it's too bad that the Pirates completely just choked away the season.
They completely imploded.
So now that we're here with the Steelers season, we just kind of said, we're kind of done with the Paul Skeens. We might do the Paul Skeens watch parties once they get back going again in April, because we'll be in the off season at that point. So why not? I think we'll reboot the Pirates watch parties. But man, they're just so far out of it at this point. I mean, I don't think that the audience would be there for the watch parties for Paul Skeens anymore.
Tragic.
And obviously, we're going live 3 times a week anyway during the season. So sometimes 4, because we have some stuff in the works here.
Oh yeah. I like this question from Vibing with the Dogs, who says, Russ predictions for week 1.
Honestly, I don't think the offense is going to be the star of the show on Sunday. I think it's going to be the defense, and that's going to be, very familiar for this franchise, right? I think the Steelers offense will get a touchdown. I think they will get a touchdown. But I also think the defense is going to get like a big strip sack or a big interception. That's going to turn the tables, and that's going to lead to the other touchdown for Pittsburgh. So I think that, the offense will be fine. They'll move the ball decently, but probably not like super effectively. I think that Atlanta's front 7 is pretty good. And then A.J. Terrell is a lockdown corner, so George Pickens isn't going to be as effective against this team as he will be against other teams. But before we go here, let's talk a little bit here about the Cam Hayward extension. Your thoughts on adding $29 million in new money for the next 2 seasons after this year for Cam? locking him up to pretty much be a one-helmet guy with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Why did they call him a defensive end? Why did Fowler say DE?
So he's technically listed as a defensive end, but we all know he's not. He's a 3 technique.
Learn the game, Fowler.
But here's the thing: they do line him up at defensive end sometimes in their bigger 4-down lineman sets.
This was a deal that had to get done. I think, like I said earlier, he's the leader of your team. He is the heart and soul. They call him Captain Cam for a reason. I mean, he's going to be a Steeler for life now, which is what they should have done. So this is a good deal, I think, all around. You're probably overpaying him slightly, but I'm okay with that when it's a guy who is a team legend and is going to be in the Steelers Hall of Fame one day. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it happened. I didn't think it was going to get done. I think because you have Keanu Benton, because DeMarvin Leal has looked good this preseason, because Larry Ogunjobi looked good in training camp, that they would have just gone into the season, and if Cam lit it up, then they would have paid him. But if he kind of had a lackluster year after his groin issues from last season, I just feel like there is a little bit of risk involved here in extending him. But honestly, they got him at a great price. They're going to be paying him less over the next 2 seasons per year than what they're paying him this year.
Yeah.
So Cam took a pay decrease to return to the black and gold, which, by the way, definitely points to his confidence that this team can win him a Super Bowl before he retires.
Oh, absolutely. I think he fully believes in the organization.
And by the way, I think that he believes in Russell Wilson. You listen to the way this guy talks about Russell Wilson. The people in this locker room believe in Russ. Maybe the people of Steelers Nation don't believe in him. Maybe they want Fields or whatever. But the people in the locker room seem to really think Russ is good. And apparently these last couple weeks in practice have been unbelievable for Russ in the offense. So listen, man, we heard the same song and dance about Kenny Pickett and this team last year heading into the year. So
we'll have to.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm
gonna see. We need to see it on the field. But I'm optimistic.
Now, do you think they will have a package for Justin Fields on Sunday?
Yeah. They'll have a couple plays with Justin out there, and they might get creative. And I do think Arthur Smith has some fun stuff up his sleeve. It won't be every play. It won't be every drive. It might not even be every quarter. But they're going to find creative ways, especially in the red zone, goal line situations, short yardage situations. They're going to get Justin on the field for sure. By the way, Steeli, just got your email. Your jersey will be on its way, my friend. Appreciate you. Okay, man, that's going to be it for today's show. Everybody that donated today, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Kurgan, this community is behind you 100%. If you need anything, let us know. Let me know also how that celebration of life goes on Sunday.
Absolutely.
That's going to be a good time, man. So shout out to Pop. Shout out to Kenneth. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Anthony Fuller for the service that he gives. Shout out to all of our active servicemen and duty members out there right now. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Peace.
Until next time, here we go, Steelers.